Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Guilty as Charged. I am your host, DreadnautX. With me as always, the sexiest mullet on earth, Chips. On tonight's episode, we discuss the September 13th, 94 episode of Hardcore TV and the newly branded Extreme Championship Wrestling, featuring Cactus Jack finding himself a new tag team partner. Which tough competitor, which former champion, which hardcore hero will Cactus find to go up against the Public Enemy for the Tag Team Championships in what turns out to be a very wild and extreme out-of-control match? Episode 3 starts right now.
Extreme Championship. Shane Douglas is the man who ignites the new flame of the sport of professional wrestling.
Prepare yourself, big boy, because I'm Taz, the world television champion. Beat me if you can, Bam Bam. Survive if I let you.
So tonight, let the new era begin. The era of the sport of professional wrestling. The era of the franchise. The era of the E.C.W.
E.C.W. We're gonna give you the most bang for your buck. We're gonna break every effing rule in the business. And for that, I promise you, we are guilty as charged.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Yeah, it's pretty good, thanks. Just quickly finished watching this week's episode, and yeah, we've got a lot to talk about. It was really packed with content, and there were still recaps, and I don't really understand how that all happened.
I know, we talked about that before. It was like, it's, like a 59 to 60 minute episode like we've been watching, but man, it seemed like they fit a lot into this episode.
Yeah, definitely. It's really good to watch. It's such an easy show to watch every week, even at this stage in, ECW's lifespan. And
right.
I mean, this week we got introduced to some characters I definitely hadn't heard of before, and I always appreciate that.
Yeah, we'll definitely get introduced to more now. And it seems like the next few episodes now, once the recaps kind of come to an end, then we'll get introduced to more like the normal roster and stuff. So, which is pretty good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. The recaps have been, good and everything, and we've still seen a lot of, really classic things, but
we're still getting quite the that NWA tournament. They're still milking quite to the fullest.
Yeah, I mean, you can see why they did it, because that's such a landmark turning point for the company.
For sure. Yeah, so this episode we're talking about today is the September the 13th, 1994. This is like the first episode that was kind of considered hardcore TV. The first episode under the Extreme Championship Wrestling banner. So, yeah.
Yeah, we've gone full brand change, although I imagine it was a little easy to do that when everything just already said E.C.W. It's just, you don't have to worry about the first word as much.
Yeah, it's only when you actually say the full name of it do you have to worry about it.
Definitely. Like I was noticing all the logos and all the all the sleeves on the microphones and stuff just saying E.C.W, and it's definitely a decent way to do it.
Yeah, for sure. Crowd gets to chant the same thing, you're all set.
Definitely.
So we start off this episode with our famous recap.
Yep, you've got to start with a recap. That's how it goes. But this was we got a big recap of Public Enemy and what they've been up to recently, and we hadn't really seen any of that on the episodes we've watched for the show so far. Anyway,
right? Yeah, they're bigger guys, but man, they do some quite the few aerial moonsaults and flips and stuff.
Yeah, this was kind of crazy. I was expecting with E.C.W to sort of enjoy the crazy angles and some of the hardcore stuff and the storylines, but I kind of thought that the wrestling compared to sort of modern day wrestling, especially when I watch stuff like New Japan, to seem a little bit less impressive. But there's so much going on in all these sort of matches we've been seeing recently, and then with people like Too Cold Scorpio, who I was really impressed by, and now just seeing like these big guys pulling off huge moonsaults and through tables and all sorts. It's been amazing. Yeah,
for sure. And then we have Benoit and Malenko, and just quite a plethora of like technical prowess, or like aerial high flying in these episodes.
Yeah, like really impressive talent on sort of every front, and I wasn't ready for that, but I appreciate it.
And we still get the wild stuff. I mean, just in this recap here, we have Public Enemy comes out to the song Slam by Onyx, which is our first good tune of the episode.
Yeah, we had some good tunes today. It was nice to have that original music.
Yeah. But yeah, so they shows them winning the tag titles from the Tasmaniac and Kevin Sullivan, and does a little recap, and like talk about the wild stuff. It shows a match between Terry and Dory Funk where they're hog tie Rocco Rock, and they hung him upside down from the top of the balcony.
Yeah, that was insane. We need to get more of that in current wrestling. Hog-tied balcony drops.
Yeah, and he just like literally drops him, dangles him down off the balcony. I mean, one little like rope snap or something, we've got like a incident on our hands.
Yeah, definitely. It was pretty crazy. That was something that I might have to go back and find that.
Yeah, and just wait. Wait till we get to our scaffolding matches with New Jack later on.
Oh God, I'm excited for that though.
And then they showed like, continuing on with the recap here, they showed them beating them in a barbed wire rope match, which also looked pretty insane.
Yeah, we had this recap package was showing a lot of ridiculously hardcore stuff that I mean, even Eastern Championship Wrestling seemed to have a lot of the extreme, in all but name.
Yeah, man, especially like the Public Enemy seem to be real big on like hardcore style, and then when they're going against Dory Funk and Terry Funk, it's they kind of live up to that style as well.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's a pair of people that you can expect to get a little bit extreme too. So
yeah. So Cactus Jack was out a partner because Terry Funk was having issues getting there, I think, right?
Yeah.
And so Tommy Dreamer steps up and volunteers to help him out, but they put him on a table and lay him out.
Yeah, so he won't be the partner, but we do have one young boy who looks about 10 years old to help out.
Yeah, and when they lay him out, I mean, like, they set him up. They set Public Enemy sets up Dreamer on a table outside the ring, and then Rock decides to moonsault off the top of the turnbuckle, crashing down onto Tommy Dreamer. And Rock is no small dude, so.
Yeah, they definitely made sure that Tommy Dreamer wasn't going to be the partner, that's for sure. That was insane.
Yeah, so Public Enemy challenges Cactus to find a partner. And Joey Styles is saying, which legend, which tough guy, which former champion is Cactus going to find in the back? to be his partner. So Cactus goes back and he pulls out very reluctant Mikey Whipwreck.
Yeah, Mikey Whipwreck's one of those names where you hear about them as being this big part of E.C.W, but I don't think I've really seen that much of him. And then seeing him in 1994 as just the youngest looking man is really weird.
He reminds me of like the actor of ECW. It's that real baby face. He's got like that real baby face look to him.
Yeah, definitely.
And of course, when he comes from the back, he's got like the "Born to Be Wild" song playing in the background.
Yeah, so we've got like more of the music being very important here.
Yeah. So let me get into like our first like first ECW opening that's kind of a bit different, tailored for the extreme part of it. It's got the 9 Inch Nails, Thunder Kiss 65 White Zombie song playing. Yeah,
we're not in the era of smooth jazz anymore.
Yeah, now we will get some smooth jazz later on, but
yeah,
for the intro now they've updated and they've got that cool got the static with the famous ECW "Join the Revolution" at the end of it. So
yeah, it's a lot more fitting now. To be fair, I might be a little bit sad to have lost some jazz, but it's all good.
We'll make up for it with the ads. Don't worry.
And boy, will we make up for it with the ads.
Now, so we start off here. We get the match between Cactus Jack and Mikey Whipwreck against the Public Enemy. Now, this match actually took place at the NWA World Title Tournament.
Yeah, I assumed it did because Cactus Jack had the tag belt in that little segment where he spoke to Shane Douglas.
Right.
So I kind of sort of pieced it together chronologically. But yeah, so this match was sort of from before. But this was like a lengthy match and a hell of a lot happened. This was sort of almost half the episode was sort of dedicated to this match, pretty much.
Yeah, for sure. And Mikey Whipwreck also in 1994 got Rookie of the Year from the Wrestling Observer newsletter too.
Oh, that's awesome! I can totally see that. He is really like very talented, and you get to see quite a lot of what sort of is yet to come from him as this new guy.
Yeah, I guess he was just a member of the ring crew, and he started. He didn't want any payment for helping with the ring crew. He just wanted to be able to go into the ring before and after the shows and run the ring a little bit. And I guess Joey Styles had noticed his some of his aerial moves and told Heyman, hey, you take a look at this guy. And so Heyman started putting him in some matches, some enhancement matches. And then he finally debuted there and won the TV title. And that was all before he kind of tagged up here with Cactus. So he had been playing the kind of lovable underdog a little bit before here.
That's really cool. I mean, he is really likable and just sort of as this like young, inexperienced character, and then alongside that he's also very talented, and you can definitely see how he's got sort of the seeds of something great yet to come in his wrestling ability, from not just sort of like an aerial offense standpoint, but even technically he seems like pretty sound, and it's been a lot of fun to see him going on through this. And I mean, this match was just sort of insane from everyone. We had sort of brawling and chaos and a bit of everything from everyone. And Whipwreck was sort of, to start with, very reluctant to get in the fight, but he definitely didn't stay that way.
Yeah, that's putting it very mildly. At the beginning, he takes off to the back, and so both Public Enemies starts beating on Cactus Jack for a while. Yeah,
but even though he'd run to the back, that wasn't the end of Mikey Whipwreck, and we got him running back out with a board to save Cactus.
Yeah,
a whole lot of brawling and a whole lot of going all the way around the arena, really.
Yeah, it was. It's funny too to hear Joey Styles and how shocked he is to see Mikey Whipwreck coming back and with the board and attacking someone.
Yeah, I don't think we've talked enough about how good Styles is. I mean, obviously, everyone knows that Joey Styles is great on commentary, but I wasn't sure if that would be something that he'd have grown into as ECW sort of evolved further and further. But even at this stage, as a one-man commentary team, he is, pretty much amazing and gets all the emotion across.
Yeah,
manages to sort of do the roles of the play-by-play and the colour stuff, and sort of have a bit more personality than just covering the moves. And it's such a difficult skill, and there's kind of a reason there's usually two people on a commentary booth, and he just manages to do it all at once and make it look easy somehow.
Yeah, I totally agree. Most of us, we grew up on the Attitude Area and listening to King and JR and be such a great duo. But man, it's hard to imagine these days just hearing one person do both and doing such a great job as Joey does, and I absolutely love his style and listening to him on commentary.
Yeah, there's very few people that I've ever heard do a one-man commentary in any way well, and I watch a whole lot of different promotions, from huge ones to tiny ones, and Joey Styles is, he's one of a kind, to be fair.
Do you know many other promotions that utilize a one-man commentary team?
Not consistently. The Scottish promotion E.C.W that, is kind of known for being kind of similar to E.C.W, will sometimes have just their one commentator, Billy Kirkwood, but I think that's usually because the other person's either sort of busy, or they don't have any, might have a conflict or something, or just can't have him there for every show. But to be honest, he does really well as well. I kind of cite him as being sort of a modern day one of the best commentators around. But yeah, it's so rare to see just one commentator, and you can see why, because it's this job that, I mean, two-man teams don't always manage it well enough. So
yeah, three-man teams are it's like the more people they have in there, it's the harder time they have of being able to get their 2 cents in, or getting things across and stuff. So
yeah, definitely. But I mean, yeah, Joey Styles is one of a kind, and I'm really glad that he's what we're going to have for, all of ECW, really.
Yeah. I mean, later years we'll get Don Callis, Cyrus the Virus, with him for a while, but that's in the later years.
Okay, well, I'm excited for weird later years of everything going a bit wrong.
Yeah, and I do enjoy Don Callis. He's pretty good.
Yeah, I've heard him on commentary before as well, and another decent addition, really. But yeah, you can't get better than Styles.
So a lot of this action here in the match, I find that the Cactus Jack enjoys using Mikey Whipwreck as a tool to throw around at. We had him sort of whipping Whipwreck into Public Enemy and using him as a battering ram. And every way you can use him as a weapon. It's I got no chairs next to me. Let me just grab my partner and whip him into these guys, and picks them up and throws them at him. And it's pretty good.
Yeah, and you'd think as with Whipwreck, as this young guy who has been portrayed as being, kind of very much reluctant to get in this fight, he wouldn't be able to take all this. And then as we go further through the match, he starts kicking out of sort of all these incredible, even double team moves, and just this, having this sort of amazing babyface push of being just powerful enough to take on this veteran heavy set tag team.
Yeah, he's just that, that underdog that never gives up, never surrenders. So
yeah, and the crowd were just eating it up entirely and fully invested in this match. And you could just see, especially when they were brawling around the arena, the crowd was just so happy that all of this was going on.
Yeah, they had some pretty crazy brawls there where fans were handing crutches and chairs to Cactus Jack as he was using them on the Public Enemy.
Yeah, and you just see as they were brawling through the sort of ringside area, you just see that all the chairs had been pushed everywhere and knocked over. I had no idea how anyone managed to sit back down after this.
Yeah, it's trying to find your chair afterwards. Yeah, it would be. I think most people look like they were just standing anyways for the show.
Yeah, but we finally got to sort of the finish of the match, which should probably be mentioned actually kind of quickly, that another theme of this match was Public Enemy doing the cabbage patch. That's an important part of this. Lots of dance moves going on here. Weirdly,
yeah, they're quite the entertainers. It's hardcore wrestling and dancing is there.
Yeah, they know the way to my heart anyway.
Yeah, I don't know if we've missed. They have a really good moment, but I'm not sure if we have missed it already. It was in Eastern Championship Wrestling, or if it's later where they're dancing in the ring, and they get all the fans to come up there in the ring and dance with them.
Oh, that sounds awesome. I hope that's yet to come, but if not, we'll track it down.
I'll have to look that up, and if we've already missed that, then I'll have to send you that link so you can see that, because that's a good one.
Nice.
I know, like, even when is that what it's called, the cabbage patch, when he's like doing the hand thing?
Yeah, it's like where you sort of do your arms in a circle, and yeah, it's mentioned on commentary a couple of times. Okay. But apparently, I have some good dance knowledge.
Say, you're a little more up on the '90s dances than I am, apparently. So.
I guess so.
Yeah, so he's up on the Rocker Rock's up on the top rope, and Cactus Jack flings him down, and he crotches himself on the top rope there, and Mikey Whipwreck rolls him up for the pin.
Yeah, and we've got new tag team champions, and I mean it's a pretty exciting belt change, and it's a good thing to see for this sort of new era, to have all these champions coming across as being pretty new and exciting, and especially with, ultimate underdog Whipwreck as well.
Yeah, and it's I like this team of Cactus Jack and Mikey Whipwreck, because Cactus Jack trained Mikey Whipwreck, and if you don't know Mikey Whipwreck, he's kind of like the innovator of the face. I don't know what you call it, like the face headlock that ended up he used to call the whippersnapper, but Stone Cold turned it into the Stone Cold Stunner.
Oh damn! Oh, I think some part of me definitely knew that fact, but yeah, you're right. That's pretty. That's pretty incredible, and yeah, that's weird to think about.
Yeah,
that's where that came from.
Yeah, it's hard to think that move wasn't around before '94, but maybe it wasn't done exactly that same way, or maybe he kind of brought it over here. Like, it's so hard with Japanese wrestling, because you assume all these things have already been done, right? But
yeah, definitely. That seems to be how it usually goes, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, so they win the belts. Place goes absolutely nuts, and we roll into our first set of awesome. I was gonna say awesome ads, but I said awesome abs.
I mean, that works either way, because we're back to our creepy solo flex ad to begin everything, because we're always gonna get so much of this advert. I think we got it maybe 4 times throughout the show today. Yeah,
and it goes right from the erotic Soloflex ad right to the non-erotic one as well, I guess.
Yeah, it did that last week as well, but you get the weird erotic one with the muscles and the lips and all everything that's all very weird, and then they have a normal advert, and then later on in the show they have 2 erotic adverts, which I think were just back to back and exactly the same.
Oh.
But great stuff. That's what we're looking for here from the adverts.
Yeah. How was your week going with seeing lots of Fords out on the road?
Oh, I'm always here to see the Fords, see them moving.
Yeah. Then we had this awesome to round out the. We had this awesome jewelry store ad with like this awesome '90s dubstep or '90s. I don't know what kind of music you call this, but
yeah, some sort of introduction to dubstep, maybe the very early origins that no one knew about.
Yeah, this is the innovator of the dubstep right here in this.
Yeah, I think they were part.
Local Philly jewelry store.
That's where you can trace all that music back to.
Yeah. So now we come back. We have a interview between Cactus Jack and Mikey Whipwreck as the new tag champs.
Cactus Jack was like really impassioned and into this promo, and sort of going from sort of a medium energy to bursts of this high energy and intensity about how Whipwreck was this guy that he saw himself in and that he knew was going to be a big deal, even if people thought he was just this like young guy, and that he was going to bring him in for this. And it was really like it was a great promo, and it showed sort of early Mick Foley promo work that you'd see sort of classic things of going forward in his career. But it was really it was great to see it in this early form.
Yeah, he's got such an infectious like excitement about him. The charisma he just oozes out, like the passion that he puts into his promos. Like, and he talks about he wants to put Whipwreck under his wing, and it's funny because he's mentioning like, that we're going to face death and disbowelment and danger. And every time he mentions one of these things that him and Mikey Whipwreck are going to face as a team, Mikey's just sitting there and his face is like, he's visibly gulping at the sound of like, all these things that are about to happen to him and the team.
Yeah, he was kind of concerned about what was yet to come, and he was talking about how his mum didn't want him to win another title so he wouldn't get hurt.
Yeah, and his Cactus Jack's like, we'll take care of your mom.
It was really fun though. It was great to see the great side of it from Mick Foley, and Whipwreck played off him perfectly, and it was sort of a bit of comedy in there. It was great stuff. I really enjoyed this, and I'm really excited to see this team, carry on with the titles, because there's a lot of fun to be had between them, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
But we've got more adverts next, fortunately.
Yeah, I mean, 2-minute promo and then back to ads.
Back to the ads, and we had this really weird advert about fishing for the Salton Sea Sportsman.
Yeah, just motorboats and fishing and
just it looked like someone was trying to like hit a shark with a stick at one point, and everything was going off. And then you had this weird awkward video of these guys like posing with the fish they'd caught, and no one really looked like they had the charisma for this. It was great.
Yeah, they were like trying to wrangle this shark up onto the deck or something, and
yeah, it was all very intense. I don't know where all that came from, and I still don't really know what they were advertising, but that was
something to do with fishing, anyways.
Something to do with catching sharks, I guess. Yeah. But if you thought that was an intense advert, then I don't think you're prepared for the advert about if you have high blood pressure that your child will forget everything about you.
Yeah, there's a very touching gentleman and his little daughter walking through a forest, and with the tagline, "Do something now to prevent high blood pressure."
Yeah, and they had all these things like they were saying about how like his daughter would forget all his dumb dad jokes because he'd be dead, and it was awful.
It's so brutal. Like, where do they get this stuff from?
I have no idea, but I tell you what, we need to check our blood pressure soon.
Yeah, I know. I checked mine last time I was at the store, and it didn't look good.
Well, we've got to change that because I've heard some pretty bad stories. Oh, God.
And we get this another nice recap here.
Yeah, pretty much what we saw last week with the caning and Woman and Sandman and everything. It was, still good to see it again because it's such an amazing angle, but it's what we've seen. We've talked about it already, but you can see why they do a recap.
Yeah, so we get the recap anyways, and we've got like some nice sax playing underneath our recap, and it leads to a Woman promo where Sandman is like ready to quit, and she's saying, "Don't quit on me." And it looks like this is going to lead to a I Quit match.
It certainly does, and I'm gonna spoil the later part of the show where we have Tommy Dreamer doing a promo and pretty much 100% setting up the I Quit match. But that's an awesome thing to see because these guys obviously have this rivalry that can't just end at the caning, and Dreamer getting to say in his new badass babyface form that with everyone behind him that he's going to make Sandman quit in front of everyone and stuff. It's going to be great. I'm excited to see that going forward. Obviously, something that I haven't seen, because that's basically going to be how this always goes. But yeah, should be great.
And then we slide back into some Soloflex ads.
Yeah, this was the point where you had the back-to-back erotic ads that just were exactly the same. Just watching it on repeat for some reason, like you've gone into some sort of weird erotic coma.
It's like we accidentally hit the repeat button on the wrong one.
Yeah, I guess that's the perils of 90s TV on, lesser channels.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that was the most important part of the ads there, and then we're on to meet some very new odd wrestlers in the next section.
Yeah, it's like Mullet Mania here in E.C.W, man.
It really is, and when you're calling yourself the sexiest man in the world and you have a mullet, I just don't know if I can get behind that.
I know, and he's got two proteges with him, and they both have mullets too. It's like this one guy, his name is Chad Austin. Greatest name ever.
Yep, and then the guy himself, the sexiest man on earth and the TV champion, is Jason. Yeah. And then we have the third member, who, alongside the two people who have normal names, is just called the Rockin' Rebel.
The Rockin' Rebel, yeah.
I love this trio of odd mullet men.
Yeah, they look so good as a good trio, for sure.
Yeah, so and this was my first time learning who the current TV champion was, this muscular, apparently sexy man.
Yeah, I think he won it from Mikey Whipwreck, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice. I mean, that'd make sense. And this was, but we didn't have him in his TV title match yet. That was our main event later, and this time it was time for Chad Austin to take on Chris Benoit.
Very young, a very buff Chris Benoit.
With flowing wavy hair.
His hair is like very flowing and very Fabio-esque.
Yeah, it looks like it'd be really soft to touch. It's just got this very soft, nice hair, and then an interior that we'd rather not go into.
Yeah, so then we cut away after a couple seconds to the Tommy Dreamer promo that you mentioned.
Oh yeah, that was sort of literally just a minute into the match. We just cut onto that for a moment, but yeah, then we had some pretty intense, technical, aggressive offense from Benoit, basically just against this guy for quite a while.
Yeah, he hits like a good Paul driver and pretty much a diving headbutt for the win after a few minutes.
Yeah, and it was sort of before that as well. We had attempted sort of interference and ringside shenanigans, but yeah, Benoit in the end just pretty much obliterated Chad Austin, unfortunately for our mulleted friends.
Yeah, and his buddy there tried to help him out, but the Rockin' Rebel.
Yeah, but it didn't work out very well for him, and then we had an argument between the Rockin' Rebel and Chad Austin, which Jason tried to sort of calm down, and then after a shove and a bit of disrespect from one of his proteges, it seems like the Rockin' Rebel is no longer part of these sexy mulleted men. Maybe he'll get a haircut next week.
Maybe this sexy trio, whatever they're called.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just call them the sexy trio.
Sexy mullets. It's quite disturbing.
Yeah. It's very disturbing. It is not at all what I'd call sexy, but that's fine. In 1994, this was probably as good as it got.
So the Rockin' Rebel reminds me of like a Marty Jannetty. He's got that kind of.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that definitely. But yeah, no longer a part of this group, it seems, and that's unfortunate. But don't worry.
They pretty much turn on him and kick his ass, beat him up, hit him with the belt.
Yep, and then that's one match down, and we do have a couple more ads, fortunately, to keep us going, including classic rock with some Glenn Campbell songs on there. That's an important VHS to buy. There's a lot of really bad VHSs that they try and sell them during E.C.W, it seems.
I used to enjoy watching these late at night in the 90s, you used to get these infomercials where it would like play all like the best hits from like the 60s or 70s, and they would play the same like 5 seconds of each song like over and over again for like an hour.
That's crazy. It's sort of an entire new world for me. It's the sort of thing that I see sort of referenced in TV shows, but
Yeah.
I mean 90s adverts and, from the US side of things were definitely not what we were getting over here.
Yeah, you guys lucked out.
Or maybe we didn't.
We did get a good ad here with the E.C.W. people supporting the Philly Variety Club, though.
Yeah, that was really unexpected, because that's the sort of thing that you expect from, your WWE sort of cynical side of things, where they're, doing charity work, but they're doing it because they really just want you to think that they're a nice company, and not just best friends with Saudi oil barons.
Evil corporation.
Yeah, trying to make out that you're not evil, but ECW actually doing charity work early on when they're a small promotion, and it was weirdly touching and very unexpected.
Yeah. Now they only showed Todd Gordon and JT Smith there, so maybe they were keeping kayfabe alive and keeping the heels away from there. Yeah,
I mean that I guess that would make sense. I don't know how many. I don't know how many. You don't want in front of these all the disabled kids to just be there watching like brutal caning from the Sandman.
Sandman showing up drinking a beer and smoking a smoke, and
yep, good role model there.
Caning the kids.
Yeah, I think having the good guys there is perfectly fine.
Then we go into our last match here, and we have Dean Malenko coming out, and comes out to another good theme song. Yeah, we have.
Unfortunately, Dean Malenko doesn't have a mullet, because even though he is with our sexy friend Jason, the TV champion.
Yeah, he comes out to Salt and Pepper's "What a Man,"
which is an odd theme, but I'll take it. I'm always happy to hear more of Salt and Pepper, the great band that is Salt and Pepper.
Yeah. So before this match gets started, Dean Malenko comes in and does the dirty work for Jason, our supposedly champion, and takes out JT Smith's leg before the ref turns around and starts the match.
Yeah, and I mean, that was pretty much all we needed to happen in this match, apparently, because the moment JT Smith's leg had been taken out by Malenko, once the match started, he basically got no offense, and it was over in minutes.
Yeah, Jason worked over the leg and pretty much finished him off.
Yeah, it was pretty short and sweet, I guess, but that's how we're gonna go for this match, and I guess this is a good introduction to Jason, who is very much our heel, who doesn't really do very much of the work and has a lot of lackeys.
Yeah, our cowardly heel.
Yeah, but I do like him. He's definitely made an impression already.
He's made an impression, or his hair has made an impression?
It could be a bit of both.
Oh, we go through our last ads of the night.
Yeah, what did we have this time? Was there anything exciting, or was it sort of just some normal stuff? I don't know if I've got any notes on these ads. Maybe they weren't as good as the earlier ones.
No, it was a quick forward ad, because we wanted to get on our last little moving.
Of course.
And then we had a lawyer ad telling us go get some money.
Telling us to go to our local pawnbrokers, and he seemed really trustworthy, I guess.
Yeah. It's called the careful choice.
I don't trust him. I don't trust him one bit.
Yeah. And we get a recap of the Shane. I was going to say Shane McMahon.
If only.
Yeah, we get a recap of the. This is weird. We got a recap of the Shane, but it's almost like somebody's watching it on the TV.
Yeah, that was really odd. I kind of thought that was going to sort of lead into it, sort of maybe zooming out, and someone was, but it just Maybe they just sort of decided that was a fun way of showing it, or had lost the footage, or I don't know.
Maybe they I don't know, who knows what this is. Maybe they lost the footage, so they had to like put it on the monitor and like film it or something. I don't know. It's really awkward.
It's very odd, but it was kind of intriguing, and it made it a little bit more interesting, because I did think that it might not just be a normal recap package, but then it was.
I'm curious to know if the version of this episode on the WWE Network has the same thing at the end, or if this was just like something different. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
that could be interesting to find out. Maybe before next week's episode, we'll get on the network and have a look. We should probably as well actually be checking on the network what each episode's called, and maybe putting it out there if people want to watch along, even if they wouldn't get the great adverts or great music. I mean, you know, I suppose you can make do with the WWE version if you need it.
Yeah, are they not up there with dates?
I don't know actually. I haven't checked it out because you know, you've been sending me all the best versions of this stuff. Yeah,
we'll have to take a look at it, and then like next week we'll let you guys know. Because then, like, if you guys want to be following along, then, you know, at least you'll know which episode to get to on the network.
Yeah, and we'll fill you in on all the music and all the adverts. Don't worry about that.
We'll get you all the good parts. You just concentrate on the wrestling, and we'll fill in the rest.
Sounds like a plan. But yeah, this was a great episode. So much content. Lots of 3 wrestling matches, which is, you know, pretty high amount for full matches in ECW at this point anyway, especially to fit into 1 hour.
Oh, for sure. Like, we watch an hour and 20 minutes of Raw every week, and we don't even get 1 match, so...
yeah, I'm definitely more of a fan of 3 matches instead of 1.
For sure.
But we also got some interesting characters, new people. I'm always excited to see these undercard ECW guys that I will never have heard of, and just see if they're going to stick around for a while. What will happen to Jason and his mulleted friends? And all the intrigue, because, you know, obviously I'm always going to have heard of and seen enough of Rob Van Dam and Taz, etc. But I had no idea who Jason was, and that's what's really exciting. All the thrills of these weird characters.
Yeah, and it's weird too to see, like, for me, like, where I started watching around, you know, like, probably, like, near the end, like, and I had to kind of go back and pick my way through, but I kind of seen some of these guys, you know, as main eventers, or, you know, like Jason, for example, like, most of what I saw from him later on is just as a valet. So now, going back here now, he's kind of like one of the main focuses of the show, so...
Yeah, that's weird. Well, it's nice to know that he'll be around, even if it's just as the eye candy that he is.
Yeah, exactly. He's the sexiest valet in the world.
Well, I mean, that's something to look forward to for sure.
Yeah, speaking of looking forward to, so next week's episode we'll have Cactus Jack and Mikey Whipwreck will defend their tag titles versus Chris Kanyon, a very young Chris Kanyon.
That's interesting.
We have a match with Tasmaniac, Shane Douglas, and Too Cold Scorpio, all in singles action.
Damn, that's a lot of talent. That's a lot of interesting people to see going forward. I'm excited for that.
And we'll see a big angle involving Heyman and 911.
Oh, nice. I was wondering when we'd see 911 and Heyman. That's something to look forward to as well.
Yeah, so next week's episode should be pretty jam-packed, and I already have it ready to go for you as well, too, so...
Oh, nice. That's always appreciated.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for this week. It was a pretty good episode.
Yeah, it was really good, and a hell of a lot of fun to talk about. I mean, we may have got a little bit sidetracked by mullets for a while, but I think we did good.
Yeah, so what else you got going on out there?
You know, all the usual stuff over on Twitter at FishChipsWhips if you want to see me talk about wrestling and games and all that sort of stuff. And I'll probably tweet out anytime I'm on Twitch too, at chips_games. But basically just follow me there. I almost did some writing this week and then didn't. But if I do any writing, it will end up being on Twitter. Everything I do ends up on Twitter. So that's the easiest way to follow me. And yeah, it'd be nice to see anyone over there. Oh, I should probably also say I'm supposed to probably plug my other podcast. So yeah, me and John Dinsdale cover current wrestling of all forms, WWE, New Japan, lots of indie stuff over at Drops, Dives and Death Matches. So if you search for that in pretty much anywhere that there are podcasts, it will come up and you can listen to that. It's a pretty good show.
And what do you guys got coming up for this week? The Super Juniors are all done?
Yeah, we've that episode will probably be uploaded at a pretty similar time to this one. I'm going to just go edit it now.
Yep.
But yeah, we've got the finals of the Best of Super Juniors. We've got what else happened? We've got NXT TakeOver 25, and we've got the final of Fight Club Pro's DTTI tournament.
Nice.
So yeah, that's a lot of stuff, and the last segment of me talking about WWE Legends House, the best programming on the WWE network.
Oh, my heart breaks.
I know, I can't believe it's over. They need to do more series of that show.
Yeah, they just need to do more series so I can hear you guys talk about it all the time.
Yeah, I appreciate that you at least enjoy that, because it meant that John let me carry it on for as long as possible.
It seems like I'm the only fan of that segment, so I'll be sad to see it go.
I mean, I can definitely confirm that I'm another fan of that segment.
We'll have to find something equally as trashy for you guys to continue on with.
Definitely. I mean, here I get to talk about trashy adverts, so as long as there's some trash everywhere I go.
Yeah. John's missing some of these trashy ads.
Yeah, I should probably try and send him the best bits or make him jump around in the videos or something to find some of them, because they are great.
We did put a compilation together of just ads only and send it to him.
That might be a good thing just to have out there for anyone listening, because that's an important thing to find out.
Yeah,
in fact, I might scour YouTube later and see if any of them are already on there, and we can just gather a collection.
Yeah, just we'll post it for people who have the network only and want to check out these awesome ads we're talking about.
They are an important part of the show.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, man, that's it for us this week. We'll be back next week with some more extreme action.
Hell yeah, looking forward to it. See you later, man.
All right, have a good one. Later. Ladies and gentlemen, you can find the show on all your favorite podcast apps: Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, and Spotify. Just search Guilty as Charged. If you want to send us a comment, question, feel free to email us at GuiltyasChargedPodcast@hotmail.com. You can also check out the show over on Twitter, Guilty as Podcast. You can also follow Chips and myself on Twitter and Twitch, and all those links will be in the podcast description below. Have a good night, everybody.
We are guilty as charged!